long as I see no grip. Cutting is on you, tree. Once over and I'm going to. And just a general sense is all out. So you send this out, you did, and the Lam Rim, so choose and young Lombala, she can chat one Zobala, Nansen and Bush, Lambaltani, the education to Bush. That then education to consume, she chats on education. Now you need to call your thing in the water. Goes. The internet and telling how to tune the kind of US, younger than a song of a chimble use. There, she cheated Sunday on top of the Sunday view. The only jump, telling you the thing, then to watching at her. In granted, change laundry room. Just some of the judge laundry room, but you can't. For non children, and teasing no me watching it. Tea Dama Tini chat on it. Once do banana number mano. She told Sunji called Dick to pass it. Jackie and laundry room, but Jackie and laundry room. Sunji Mano, but Chepa Sabala. Sunjano Chamusing. Sunjano Chamusing. Sunjano Chamusing. The thing is Sunjano Jambasing different. In the young yeah.
Yeah, so in general, at the start of one's Lam Rim practice, there are such topics as the invocation of the merit field and the invocation of the refuge field, and there's also the practice of Guru Yoga. In order to progress along the path, one needs to rely upon a teacher, and that teacher should have the necessary qualities of a teacher. So in general, the Dharma that we are following comes from Shakyamuni Buddha. However, in particular, we follow the lineage of Lama Tsongkhapa, which sort of stems from the lineage of Atisha, who combined the two lineages, the lineage of extensive practice and the lineage of the profound view. So this lineage was combined by Atisha, and then Lama Tsongkhapa sort of transformed that unification into what is called the Great Exposition on the Graduated Path to Enlightenment. So the practice of properly relying upon a spiritual friend comprises reliance in a thought and reliance in action. So reliance in thought means to generate faith, and reliance in action comprises the various types of offering our service to the teacher. Sorry. So if one initially can practice one of the different Guru Yogas of Lama Tsongkhapa as a preparation for one's Lam Rim practice, then that would be very good. Yeah, so if one, as a preparation, practices one of the Guru Yogas based on Lama Tsongkhapa that contain both the points of reliance in thought and reliance in action, then that would be a very good preparation for one's Lam Rim practice. Here we have, from the sutra point of view, the Guru Yoga that is called the 100 deities of the Pure Land of Joy, and then we have from the Tantra point of view the Lama Tripa Puja, the offering puja to the Guru. Yeah, so if one can initially if one can initially base one's practice on the preparation of the Guru Yoga practice, either from the sutra side or from the tantric side, and then that would be that is sort of the way to go about it, as His Holiness remarked previously. And most of you have already taken initiations, so to base one's practice on the Guru Yoga of Lama Tsongkhapa is sort of the way to go about the practice of Lam Rim, and therefore I sort of thought now to go in a brief manner over the points of the Ganden Lagema, the Guru Yoga of Lama Tsongkhapa, that follows the sutra tradition. Do you have that?
I think I have, but I can make copy tomorrow. I didn't make copy.
단다 건설하면서 지금 빠르게 왜 말했어? 상이
강가지 가.
You may for tomorrow?
Yeah.
걔네가 가지가지 생긴 동고 이제로 뭐지? 남나 유래도. 얘는 뭐지 남나. 얘는 이게 남나 유래. 나스는 뒤쳐도 너도 뭐니? 계속 추가하는 게 지나서는 생각은 너무 많이 되어요. 긴 런 미녀스는 같은 것도 많이 Dolu sing to Carson Nason, Dolu Nason, wrong hash go Meduca. No one knew Chapa Carson. Do you do so wrong? So much in dribble on Checher, dribble on Sony Terrain Nason. There's only touch and dribble Chinjete. So now on Chen. Terrain name for Jerome, but you mean, so on the Pamus, and Jim, Mubanda was it. 80 don't you say? Then think about Sangela. Non ci Sangela, Tansendo. Non dissing. Aloni Tamapi number legis. Then somehow not you going in and this one children. Then Saji Sangela. Hello? Saji to Super Sangela. Then Cheba Sangela. Cheba Tins on the Ton Cheba Sangela. On the Cheba Sangela to recover. Then he and Disha. He and Disha at the condition. Cardinal Gadi to Gani says the name of Shaka. Countries and so not on. Then the Cheba pay. You're not the big choice, you're not the big choice. Kangani is on the age. You're not the big choice saying it. No, names so send out the heat on your number. Near on the age, you're not the big choice. Here, Chola Kangi, no other but something in the old way. You know, I'm not using one to Chola. You're not the big choice, he said, tell Lam Rim. Dire. This and Tombo, you're not the best Satin. Short touching the year. Cheba Priscilla. Then the Ched. Garden had engaged the Ganis. Tombo Jerum with the assistant Tian John.
So in general, within Buddhist practice, we have the practice of sutra and the practice of tantra, and therefore also likewise within Guru Yoga practice, we have the Guru Yoga according to sutra and the Guru Yoga practice according to tantra. The difference being that in the tantric Guru Yoga, the practice of incorporating the result into the path is included. Here one visualizes oneself as the deity, may that be Guyasamaya or Chakasambhava and so forth, and then after having generated oneself instantaneously as the deity, then one blesses the various offerings, and the inner offering, the outer offering, and so forth. While in the Guru Yoga, according to the Sutra path, one visualizes the offering object externally. So one invokes a merit field, like in this Guru Yoga, the Lama Tsongkhapa and his two main disciples from the Pure Land of Ganden, and then performs the seven-limb puja. However, in both the Guru Yoga according to the Sutra path as well as according to the Tantric tradition, the seven limbs are always complete, so they are both present within the Sutric way of doing it as well as in the Tantric way of doing it.
Then Tanjitan Sajita Single, Tanjitan Sajita, similar to Lantana Medi, Roy Jawan Sajita Semana Suba, Territory Medic, Jambo, and Ron. Titan the Hiena, Tandoshu Jigin had to Jure. Manada to Solitani, Titan the Tani, the Yamek Conservado. Robot not in the chest, single chest, and a moment hero. The Tanatel can see it's in. Guardian the Guardian Hajin Gange to Kanisedi. Guardian said, not in the constant announcing Guardian Samadi. Gadi Gachundre, Gadi Gachundin, Gadin said, Gadi Gachundite, Gan chasing it, Gadi Hajisi, Hajain dancing it, just Shangere. Ti Tukani, Sajitemba, Chipatavitan, Tukani, yes, Sujan Tony, and then took an Raka shows upon it. Raka shows up a Gumba day with 10 things. You can't do it then. And one is a trouble, you sound over. Use a Shanga tent. Need it to wrong that and easy then. Think about it. Shows up upon us in the sounds on the then the school like in it, Jerome with it. Here just the end carried it and you do. And it's on the way, and it's only something.
So initially one in the sutra system, so initially the one performs the blessing of the place where the place is transformed into some kind of a pure land where there are no rough objects, no thorns and so forth, and then to this very beautiful and nice place, then one invokes the merit field, in this case Lama Tsongkhapa and his two main disciples, from the heart of Maitreya, who is residing in the Pure Land of Joy. Here the Pure Land of Joy doesn't refer to the Pure Land of Joy that is contained within the three realms, but it refers to the Pure Land of Joy is called Ganden Ige Chunzin, that is outside of the three realms, and the basis here of the 100 deities is Maitreya, and from the heart of Maitreya, then a fine light ray emanates down into the space in front of oneself, where then those three clouds are manifest. So there need to be three sort of masses of clouds, one for Lama Tsongkhapa, and then left and right, one each for the disciples.
Lama Tsongkhapa Zangja Yong Sin Lama Tsongkhapa Sambon Kasindi Sambon Judging the and it can cover it. Don't be anything gone jalad substance, Lama Tsongkhapa, don't be anything. Non do Topanica Tassin the Chudi Jabus. No to Timimete no Yideta. Not Chudi Jabu. Continue to just continue it. She big it. Tanashi and repeat it. There's a what that tending down out, see under what I'm mind. She just can't chamber. I'm about to be she do here, they said. And take here, thing is the chapa changing to the hair of Tommy here. Thing is the chapa changing here. Shalasun is the chapa changing, don't to be Shalasun, the chapa changing here. Continue on drops. No drops, no drops for the mayor. I tell it.
So, in the invoking verse, the Lama Tsongkhapa is referred to as the king of the Dharma. The reason being that he is that he really excelled in every field of the Dharma. So for example, from the point of view of composing, he composed 18 volumes of commentaries, which is quite quite a lot, so it would prove quite difficult to compose 18 volumes of commentaries during one's lifetime. And then also from the point of view of practice, he has attained all the different meditative realizations, and has generated omniscient awareness in dependence upon the superior concentrations, as was mentioned before. So he's not only aware of a few individual objects of knowledge, but he is aware of the whole of existence. And so the place where one visualizes here Lama Tsongkhapa and his two main disciples, or at the level of one's eyebrow, so at sort of in the space in front of oneself, at the level of one's eyebrow, sort of between one's at the sort of at the level where there's that point between one's eyebrows, how far away from one's body, about the distance that of one full-length prostration, and the size of the visualization is about the size of a thumb, if possible. And you said it's good before one does the actual invocation to meditate on the different points mentioned in the invocation, that his appearance, that he is of sort of reddish white color, sort of a white skinned but mixed with red, and smiling, and so forth. And so and then also reflecting on his qualities, why he's referred to as the king of the Dharma, and then that makes then the invocation more effective.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it is good to read a biography of Lama Tsongkhapa in order to be able to understand his qualities, and then understanding Lama Tsongkhapa's qualities will generate a faith. Then it is also one should remember the kindness of Lama Tsongkhapa, which will then generate respect in such a way that one has the two aspects of mental reliance upon the spiritual friend present. How he took rebirth in Tibet for the benefit of sentient beings, first in Amdo, and then how he went later to Lhasa, and then engaged into the different activities in order to benefit sentient beings. How he also emphasized for example, the practice of moral discipline and so forth for the benefit of sentient beings. So just reflecting on the various ways in which he benefited us, so reflecting upon his kindness.
Yana den sa chawa cheba kwa tendre ninam dombo de penju de nangana manda swata ba de indi de sin chuje bugun sin ti ba nin sin nanjin na sin ti de den sin je to na ma jivin zunga te tawla ti bi sana sin ju ka ji yu su sin ta nangana manda swata ka de sin ba de ndena in Kabu Song thing, the GS is so gone, you know. Oh, didn't change the Mate, the Tongan is the Sint to see in Sonaton. Sint to did and the payment did and the Dodge. Then you know, the Sint to pay the danger, no. Just on a giving to get Shangun, and the Sonaton. Sint to pay that. He must dot and do the double in half over my. You know that. Che pima te ready minjo chanje dawa te shongju san chanje ti ten de nima yana tom tu shira chen tan chen nima yana ta che ni chen tom tu shira tene u te tam karim mo pima te ta che ba ti chen Gente sino pena singing. Pema singing to Colon Toma di Maro. Colo Toma de Dora. Coscienza ti abu Jomad. Down here, Pema down here. No matter the Tajatia says here and do. In Hindi singing to Colon, she said the abu to the Shiaman. Since you don't not Tombi to Saint Chichi, Tamad. Then mean, and he ended the column. So my abu did it. Yes, the payment chance. Payment. Indeed, touch everything. Don't need to be sure that column Mary remember Kangan down to you. He is any man's hand. And the dog said, dog said. In Taji Chapati, neither them be attended no oriented at no change it to detail no oriented job. Sending things no oriented yet. Do you know Hindi Chambuya but sang? Don't you say about sang? Don't to be sure at sang? And you know, the seem to pay the dance. Sing you try to pay my die dance. That since thing Munji Paget and the tower sang. Yeah.
So one visualizes Lama Tsongkhapa in such a manner in the space in front of oneself, and then one starts to offer the 7 limbs. And here then after the verse of invocation, then there is the verse of requesting the merit field to remain, which is here then done secondly for auspicious reasons. And when we visualize Lama Tsongkhapa in this space in front of oneself, he's seated on a lion throne on which is a lotus and a moon seed. If there is a lotus, a moon and a sun seed, like a lotus, then on top of that a moon disk, then on top of that a sun disk, then the lotus signifies a renunciation, and the moon disk signifies a bodhicitta, and the sun disk signifies the correct view of emptiness. However, if there is only a lotus and a moon disk, then the lotus signifies superior method, and the moon disk signifies the correct view of emptiness. Now, why the lotus signifies this superior method is because similarly to the lotus is actually born out of mud and dirt. So if we look at the way a lotus grows, it grows out of the swamp, out of the dirt and the mud, but in itself it is quite beautiful and pure. So likewise, the superior method of bodhicitta and great compassion is generated by reflecting upon all the disturbances, the aggravations and the sufferings of sentient beings. But then out of that reflection arises something very pure and beautiful, which is bodhicitta. And so when we so those different aspects of the visualization, they signify different internal qualities of the merit field. So we should always understand that the different symbols signify something that is actually signify some internal quality of the merit field. So the so then also one has to visualize the Lama Tsongkhapa as having a very pleased, compassionate smile. Smile is
that's all right. Dollar tips and I should do this. So low, taping at the Senna, taping Senna, he says I check. So you just said Senna should do temba jis sonji temba jivisha don maru sena sapsa jena makare ji yuru ches ta tan swata jena mat sosu tinma namanda ji ado lamana so de jiram bochere ti ta ko de tin na ro na soji mo bo indwa ran tande temen sosu chulinga lamanda sunungo yemi salanda sina chung ten ta to sol temba jis ka ji yusos ta temba don maru to sena she so se yeni gi che chero yuru che se temba jivato.
And so then on the basis of having faith into the merit field, then one makes the requesting it to remain for hundreds of aeons in order to be able to act for oneself as an object to create merits, as well as for the benefit of the Dharma, that the Dharma may increase and spread. And so here the principal figure is a Lama Tsongkhapa, which can be surrounded by also different other groups of merit fields while one is doing this verse. It can also be just the Lama Tsongkhapa, the principal figure of Lama Tsongkhapa, which is then thought of as the embodiment of all the different Buddhas and all the orphans, teachers, and so forth. With his objects of knowledge. So then next comes the verse of prostrating. Here Lama Tsongkhapa, here the qualities of Lama Tsongkhapa's body, speech and mind are listed. So first we said that he comprehends all objects of knowledge with his wisdom, and then that his speech, his teachings are the ornament of the fortunate ones. So the fortunate ones are the bodhisattvas, and his teachings, such as these all volumes that he composed, they are the ornaments of the bodhisattvas. So they are regarded as very precious and special, and then his body is endowed with the splendor of fame and renown. So his physical form sort of outshines any other physical form of any ordinary being. Yeah, so so then it says, I prostrate to
yung chen na to me to yung du za to no chen yi ti che ti ja to sen na xin ju che de che ban go ta ti no yi sa cai yan ji ru mu chi so ta ti no yi che ban be yan ji ru mu chi sen che ba ba
yeah, so it says that then I prostrate to the one who is so to the one who is a great significance and who is meaningful to see, listen to, and remember. And then comes the next verse that deals with making offerings to the merit field. So here are then the various offerings such as flowers, incense, offering water, and so forth are presented to the merit field, both actually and imagined.
That is do my God. Yung chen. Yung chen, right? Continua to the mood, because the chest on a taunt. You don't chen, not so be metal. Trashing do group. No chen has something to do. No, that's it, mammy. Candle the training. No chen has to do. No, sir. To say that could go with challenge. It's in digital. Intende just no step up with one many.
And yeah, so he talks specifically about beautiful and pleasing offerings, such as beautiful flowers, then pleasantly smelling incense, illuminating lights. So that can be just like an offering lamp. So that can be just like a candle would fulfill that function. And then we have also beautiful smelling perfumes and so forth, which if possible then actually set out I actually set out and offered, as well as also mentally generated and then offered. And
tu tuma me ban sa ye dibate se tumi tu sa bai te sa ba te dibate tu tuma me ban sa ye tu nunga yi sang sa ye nunga yi mu ge ji ba nunga yi ba ka ji yo na nunga yi mu ge ji ba se ba to damba sa de manzo cho so ji so sa so mo sang damba ki no yo na te lu damba manzo cho de ga de ngi
and the next comes the verse of confession, where one confesses the different negativities that one has created before, such as the transgressions of the three vows, the vows of individual liberation, the bodhisattva vows, and tantric vows, and so forth. They are all here then confessed individually. So here one confesses from the depth of one's heart. One says that the verse sort of basically says that I confess from the depth of my heart that all the negativities that I have created since the beginning of a cyclic existence, such as the creation of the 10 non-virtuous actions and the transgressions of the 3 levels of vows and so forth. Yeah, so confessing them with strong regret individually. And also here one can engage into the purification of negativities with the four opponent powers. Here we have the power of the base, then the power of repudiation, the power of the thorough application of the antidote, and the power of the promise, the power of the basis referring to refuge and bodhicitta, the power of the repudiation referring to the strong regret, then the power of the thorough application of the antidote referring to any type of virtue, and then the all specific mantras for purification, and then the power of the promise, making a promise not to do the action again. And then the next verse is the verse of rejoicing, where so it sort of says, you who strove in various ways and means in this degenerated age, and made meaningful the precious human rebirth by abandoning the 8 worldly dharmas, and then all protector in the great waves of your deeds, I rejoice from the bottom of my heart. Yeah, so the practice of rejoicing is praised as a supreme practice for accumulating great amounts of merit in a very brief time with very little effort. So by rejoicing in the qualities and the good deeds of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, then in a very brief time and with very little effort, one generates lots of merits and virtues potentially. And so then the next verse deals with the next verse deals with requesting the Lama for teachings, and here then a variety of analogies are used. So it says, it says sort of like, oh, holy Lama, from the please rain sort of a rain of profound teachings from the clouds of wisdom and compassion in the sky of your Dhammakaya onto the sort of the onto the disciples who are the sort of the receptacles, the sort of the vessels in which the rain falls. Yeah, and also and all. So yes, in this verse, the space is used as an analogy for the wisdom truth body of the teacher, the enlightened mind of the teacher, the of the innate wisdom realizing emptiness in the mind, in the continuum of the teacher, and then within that space of the Dhammakaya, there are the clouds of wisdom and compassion, the wisdom understanding the sufferings of sentient beings and so forth, and compassion, and then the rain that rains down from those clouds are the teachings which are requested to rain down in accordance with the minds of the disciples. And
Yes. That's some months in Chabam. Do it, should you know, which is you know, from you, Chamba. You are Tereta. And again, you thought Chamba just Pete, you really Chamba, and Chinopet, only that you they didn't do it. Telling us a mighty sound lady. You know, change your list, children. Chungo go a gay and do this on that. Chungo go a cussing thing, I'll chew no which is your short there. Oh, dear. Pete men and oh, me, she might be the Cadina, and to do your son. Shubritson. Imagine choosing it in my joint, not from my lord. Did it. Then, not yet you is mutually shaped up and do you. Won't you add to your man and then what you call it? The chunko go a gay piano, that's it, chunko a gay.
Yeah, so one should always, it's good to always request teachings, regardless of whether the class is going to offer, whether then a class is actually going to happen or not. And so I had a very good teacher, Rinpoche, and I always went to ask him whether there would be a class, even though most of the time there wasn't any, because it's very good to request teachings, because without being requested to teach, then also the lamas are not allowed to teach. So it's a very auspicious thing to do, regardless of whether the class is then happening or not.
That's what I can do. That's what I was going to treat me here.
So did we already complete the limb of requesting the merit field not to pass into parinirvana?
Yes.
Just turning the wheel down. Turning the wheel down.
Oh yeah, beginning,
yeah.
But it was mentioned at the beginning.
Not to pass, not to stay as an object of merit.
Yeah, that's what it means, not to pass into parinirvana.
That's what happened. Don't watch now. Then you know the seems to be get on giving all the tips and I think the temper is catchy used to so Tandula Tombol. The Danmoy another. Then more at the means of the girl and walk on a combat. So I get a lot of trouble. 10 million so said Chepa gets a lot of trouble. 10 million. More than more than more than means of young Tembato. Since ten more, only tops in one offended. Tender Karingo, like it's near of the girl. More the man in Chepa Carisena. No Jim cheered. Nason Jivash, Chichivash, and somebody more than mother. That dog is news of the Giwan the single. Nigua Tini, Tita, Giwa Tapena. You know, the guests are son, you saw your. Dagi Genius of Yohan, Tanton, Sondi Tamba. Ndroakana. Combi Cheddar. Then Rokan, Chepat, Royal Pembat. Chepat don't Jello Tambatini. Should look at the Tangi, started saying,
and
Himbo ranks to remove by the post in and the young shooting together. Yet Tamba was to remove by the sauce in Royal Moses Saint Tonji Candy. Saint Tonji Sondi touch at the young shooting. Don't you know what's in a terrace? Saint can do some Dagi do some call Tabar. Don't you tell one? Yes, indeed, Dara.
And so then next is the dedication. And here basically one dedicates the merits for the benefit of sentient beings and for the continual abiding of the Dharma, which is said to be the two of the superior dedications. Here when we dedicate the merits for the benefit of sentient beings, so one says whatever merits that I have accumulated, I dedicate for the benefit of sentient beings. This particularly means their enlightenment, and also for one's own enlightenment, which is actually also for the benefit of sentient beings, which becomes the benefit of sentient beings. And then also one dedicates for the continual abiding of the Dharma. And the difference between the dedication and just a prayer is that when one dedicates, one has to actually have some merits that one dedicates, while just making a prayer may become enlightened and so forth. That's just a mere prayer, but the dedication is a prayer where one has actually some merits that one can dedicate.
The kitchen would give it at that. Will grown to her. Tony kill it to make you charge in the tongue sample. Taga get a dojo more. $10 more. They have never say something.
Yeah, so when one dedicates one's merits, one dedicates them for a complete enlightenment, or for the welfare of sentient beings, for the continual abiding of the Dharma. Can you mean such a sum?
Then show a carrying and not to start it and think about some money. One come over.
Okay, and so whatever kind of practice one is, whatever kind of virtuous practice one is engaging in, it should first be initiated by virtuous motivation, and then comes the action, the practice, and then it should be completed by a virtuous motivation, and the whole thing should be done with a clear and stable mind.
Yanandum choice in the Chinchum is summer, yes, a Chinchumar. And Dosho Yanandum choice did it. Jerumbuchi, Tombo Tosa, Yanandum choice, Tosa. Yanandum choice the business. So you sent on a Shazin, Yanandum choice, on Tenichazero.
So, and this practice of offering the 7 limbs is a very powerful practice. When it accumulates a not insignificant amount of merit, there are many practitioners that, for example, there were practitioners that were able to directly have direct visions of deities and so forth after doing this practice. And also these practices come down through clear visions of Lama Tsongkhapa. Frustration. The accumulation of merit becomes the primary cause for the attainment of the Buddha's form body. And if we just look at the first of the 7 limbs, the limb of prostration, there are many benefits associated with the practice of prostrations. And so if we look at the life of Lama Tsongkhapa, actually each of the different facets of the life of Lama Tsongkhapa, it would be enough to fill another person's complete life. So if one looks at what Lama Tsongkhapa composed, then it seems as if Lama Tsongkhapa spent his whole life composing. But then if we look at the practices that Lama Tsongkhapa did during his lifetime, if we read about the practices that Lama Tsongkhapa did during his lifetime, it sort of seems as if he spent all of his time practicing. And the same goes for teaching and so forth. So when we look at Lama Tsongkhapa, we can see that he's really a person with many special qualities.
I'm going to nominate you to get the living engine. The Iuti Ramate Sata Ramnadi. Then Sheba Sotsan Sotsan so we had did it that. Chepapusia did it. So Shabasin Shabatin Institute. Yisino gone and his dinner got. Rami and he got it. Him and saying about. You see, when you man would gone and do your mother the pen. Laman the Jiro which get to joy as I was singing. So the young just singing to say, gosh, he's gone to not only with you, someone don't tell it. Niman would do your mother. Yisinos, then sing. Manariba. To so sonaton. When you can't sing the sonaton, I just sound Zidla, son. The Gisino gossing. I would Suzuki in the neighborhood city, so Gigi. Sino Gisino gossing. Nientu, Ronja, on to December. Sonji, on the Nag Gisino got home. Yeah, 10 seconds. Yeah.
And I think that also from before I forgot to mention that once we know this basic 7-limb practice and the way it is done, then we can apply that also to all other virtuous practices that we do because also we can apply that knowledge also to other practices, because most of the pujas and the prayers in one way or the other incorporate the 7 limbs, or at least parts of the 7 limbs, and then we also always can apply the way of first generating virtuous motivation, then engaging into the practice, and then completing it with a virtuous dedication. And also one can choose out of the 7 limbs which one would like to concentrate on, the prostration or the rejoicing or the confession or and so forth. For example, just meditating on rejoicing one could do all day long, because there is so much material by when one wants to meditate on rejoicing in all the qualities of one's teacher, of Lama Tsongkhapa, and their good deeds, then also rejoicing in the life stories of the different disciples of Lama Tsongkhapa, such as Gyawa and Sapa, and so forth. Then also one can widen that out and rejoice in the qualities of other holy beings, such as Milarepa and so forth, the qualities of the hearer practitioners, the qualities of the solitary realizers, the qualities of the bodhisattvas, and the qualities of the Buddhas. So one could spend a whole day meditating on rejoicing in these different the good qualities of those different beings.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, yeah. Tati tata then Mazimingun, Tondin them. Mete, the Hindi Champu, the woman and the son of Konjiki to you. No tradition saw it, he saw it down. Lamat Lamnajus Sata, Teriana then with Sosa. Pages done. Harley and him by the son of Kitty. Mitzemat down. Mimete, this is Hindi. To make chamber on Yambin, the woman and the son of Konjiki to you. Don't go up a little tradition on see you in Europe. I can't Europe, got in Europe. Mitzeman, you couldn't, not couldn't. And then that's a local wrong at you. Then it
And then subsequently to having performed the 7-limb puja, then one does the recitation of the Mikdama prayer. Here there is a 4-line version, a 5-line version, and a 9-line version. And so if one does the and so if one does the 4-line version of the Mikdama prayer, so then the first line says so here it refers to Lama Tsongkhapa as Chenresik, a treasure of the compassion lacking of focus. So here it refers to Lama Tsongkhapa basically as being a treasure of compassion, Chenresik, and then in the second line it refers to Lama Tsongkhapa as being a Manjushri, who is empowered with stainless wisdom, who holds the power of stainless wisdom, and then in the third line it refers to Lama Tsongkhapa as being the crown ornament of the sages in the land of snow. So why it refers to Lama Tsongkhapa here as being the crown ornament is because both from the point of view of the words as well as from the point of view of meaning, he excels. And then in the fourth line, then it says, as of I make requests to you. Yeah, so in the 5-line version, the first 2 lines are the same. So initially, Lama Tsongkhapa is referred to as a Chenresik, the embodiment of compassion, the treasure of compassion. Then in the second line is referred to as a Manjushri, who is sort of the lord of wisdom, who holds the power over wisdom. And but then in the third line, it refers to Lama Tsongkhapa as Vajrapani, who actually is the sort of the secret lord who overpowers the hordes of Maras, so which is a reference to Vajrapani, so he refers to him as Vajrapani. So that is the difference. That's the only difference is that this line or referring to Vajrapani is inserted. Yeah, so basically what one the conclusion one should arrive at is that Lama Tsongkhapa possesses perfect knowledge, compassion, and power, and which is signified by referring to him as Chenrezig, Manjushri, and Vajrapani.
Okay, that was just. I'm going to tell you that standing is go shandu ni something. How much on top of TLC, short say, Jason Louis, can I see him? But that's already New York. Champions is the champions zero. The champions you are on magic, and it's TV on the society. The TV is done, so never manage tomorrow. Nubai to the sun do you know be just sauce. Since the news of the 18th Dembelamate, just channel, Chichu, shots and such wood. Or that can do tumble. Yeah, that can you. To sing us.
So, this would be compassion.
She turns out.
Answer. And so basically Chenrezig is unequaled in his compassion, Manjushri is unequaled in his wisdom, and Vajrapani is unequaled in his power, and so Lama Tsongkhapa possesses those qualities of Chenrezig, Manjushri, and Vajrapani. Therefore, also it makes, for example, it makes sense to pray to Lama Tsongkhapa because he possesses the wisdom of Manjushri. So therefore, when in the initial prayer, when it says, "Please behold me with your wisdom," so then, of course, Lama Tsongkhapa will behold oneself with his wisdom, and then also he will look after one with his compassion. But then only having the wisdom and the compassion is not enough. There also needs to be the power to follow up that wisdom and compassion. So also Lama Tsongkhapa possesses that power, so therefore he is a suitable object of refuge to whom one can go for refuge and to whom one can prostrate and so forth.
Yeah. Tony King,